Anybody familiar with this? This is the Young Women's Leadership Summit that's going to be going on at Turning Point USA, which is, I believe, the 13th through the 15th. So it's next week. And these are the women that they've decided who are worthwhile. Okay, Alex Clark, imagine that. Oh, and look who else is in the top billing there. We've got what is it, Kirka? What's her name? Erica Kirk. Would that be Charlie Kirk's wife? Oh, and then we've got Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is thrown in there. So I don't know how many of these chicks will be on. I know that they're trying to get none other than, and you've probably already seen her, Nala Ray is in the panel, and that is actually the topic of the show. Does this bitch actually deserve to even be on this show? Because if you know anything about Nala Ray, she just had this miraculous conversion to, I don't know, evangelical Christianity, not but what, a year ago. I think December of 2023 is when I saw her get baptized, and then everything came down for her. Like, suddenly she's doing, Michael Knowles does 2 fucking interviews with her, and she's essentially admitted to the fact that she's been using whatever podcast and Brian and the rest of these guys is just sort of like convenient tools. They're convenient tools, whatever you want to call them, to essentially grow her brand. And now that she's decided that OnlyFans isn't what she wants to do anymore, well, what is she going to do? Well, how about Christianity? That sounds pretty good. A lot of other chicks are doing it too. Why not? Right? Oh, and in case you're wondering, yes, that is Lila Rose there in the middle of that second row down. And 1, 2, 3, 4 slots over, then you'll see Lila Rose there. Who's Lila Rose? Lila Rose is the chick that supposedly put Justin Waller on spot about, 2 years ago now, when myself and Mike and Justin were out there. And after Mike and I had left, Justin stuck around a little bit longer. And Lila Rose shows up, and she's the one that sort of put him on the spot for essentially having a baby mama and enjoying the attentions of other women outside of his marriage, right? Well, everybody wanted to, sort of give her a gold star for what she said, until Lila Rose decided that she was going to misappropriate funds. And I'm going by memory here, but this was back in 2024. How she, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because maybe you guys know better than I do, but I think she was under investigation for misappropriation of funds or embezzlement. The fact being that she's making literally millions of dollars on her sort of pro-life charity, and of which she is using it for extravagant galas and parties and her lifestyle and everything else, while she is like paying her staff a pittance. And according to the IRS reports, I want to say a whole $28,000 of like the millions that she ended up scamming off of people actually went to a fucking charity. So Sam, if you want to look that up, I want to be 100% accurate with that, because if she ends up showing up on the thing tomorrow and all this actually really does go down, I want to be prepared for that. But Lila Rose, as far as my knowledge is concerned, she's never really beat the rap as far as the embezzlement accusations are concerned. So that will be the first thing out of my mouth if she happens to be there. What'd you do with the money? But more importantly, the real topic is Nala Ray, and should Nala be actually part of this? Well, according to my sources, Charlie Kirk is the one who insisted that Nala Ray be on the bill. So I'll let you guys do with what you want with that. But remember, she was the one who sort of duped Michael Knowles into, I don't know if you guys remember the Mount Olympus interview of her and her boyfriend. And it was like, they were in heaven, man. It was like these Greco-Roman columns and this duvet that they're sitting on, like Socrates and Aristophanes. And we're just going to talk about logic and the life and philosophy and stuff like that. And it's like, this is a child. This is a fucking child. In what world does this person's opinions matter whatsoever, right? And it just goes to show you that all you have, I experienced this firsthand in 2023 and then into 2024. All you have to do is have a great pair of tits And all you got to do is put a crucifix necklace, a nice little silver diamond crucifix necklace. And everybody wants to believe that you've had some real sincere conversion over to Christianity. Now, here's the problem with this. And you guys probably already know where I'm going to go with this. But I need you guys to help me prep for this for tomorrow. Okay. So everything I'm going to talk about today is sort of some way backwards related to having this sort of panel discussion with assuming it goes down with Pierce Morgan, right? Is it from 2011? What you got there? Lila Rose ends her credibility once and for all. Okay, I will look at that. Put that in the chat for me, will you, Sammy? Thanks. Just so everybody knows that I'm not full of shit. And I'm just pulling this out of my ass here. So, but should Nala Ray even be? Is Nala Ray such an inspirational figure that she should be at the Young Women's Leadership Summit? Really, Nala? Can you tell us about leadership amongst young women? Nala, what did you do to become such a great leader amongst women? Nala, tell us about all your past and everything that you've done to be this great entrepreneur. And who did you have to go through? And what were the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs of your previous career that led you to being the leading young star of women today? Well, what exactly did you go through? Is it going to be like a TED Talk? I'm still wondering here. But so, like, why on earth? Like, this is okay. So, also before you answer that, we have to go and we have to look at the most recent video from Nala, from our good friend Nala, because, you know, I would be remiss in my duties here if I didn't. Where did I put that? I think I've got it here somewhere. Maybe that's not it. Hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I know I have it here. Was it on my thing? That's not it, is it? No, that's not it. Hang on. Anyways, let me see if I can find this for you. It's a video of Nala Ray, and she is basically baking. What is she? Oh no, sorry. It's on my desktop. Is this it? Yes. Okay. Here we go. This is the most recent video of Nala Ray. Another. Sorry, I gotta put the audio down on this because I'll get a copy strike. That's Frank Sinatra. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much copyrighted. So here she is making up something. See, all it takes. Still doing the cum face. Cum face. I love this. Okay. Spreading it out. God knows. Oh, this is the cinnamon, right? She used to work for Cinnabon, right? Of course she knows what she's talking about when it comes to this shit. Mom must have taught her. Look. Oh, see? She's so wholesome. She can cook you cinnamon buns, for crying out loud. What's the matter with you people?
I mean, she still looks like a porn star, and she's doing the porn faces. And if you really converted to Christianity, wouldn't you just get off the internet after that?
Think those are hair extensions? I sure the fuck do.
Prove to us that you're really a Christian and just log off the internet forever. I can go look up your porn right now. And this girl got a job working for Charlie Kirk. I got 300 million views in my first 3 months of posting, and still no job offer from TPUSA. Whose do I have to suck to get a job working for TPUSA? She also married a black guy. Gross.
Oh my God. So I don't know. I think I'm in pretty good shape for this debate tomorrow. Assuming she shows up, assuming it even goes down, right? Honestly, you know, what gets me is this is one of the things about, I don't know, being in my niche or whatever, or being an influencer or whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know what to call myself, right? But doing what I do and doing this kind of stuff, it's appear or disappear. Okay. And what I mean by that is you got to strike while the iron's hot. So this might have been controversial when they texted me and asked me on Thursday if I wanted to go on the show on Monday. Now things might have changed. They might have thought, you know what, fuck that. That's yesterday's. That was the last news cycle. Let's go with something else, right? Which is probably why I haven't heard anything from them. And if I don't, I'm not going to cry over it. It wouldn't be the first time I got stiffed by Pierce Morgan, by the way. Anyways, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm on that side of the fence. I'm pretty sure she's not. She's still grifting, man. She's just a different grift. And she's rubbing it in your nose, or your nose is in it right now, in Cinnabon. She's rubbing your noses in Cinnabon right now. And this is something that I wanted to point out. I think I already showed you guys this video, but let's just do it again. It's timely and it's pretty short. So let's throw this. Oh, here it is. This is yours truly, by the way. What did I say here just last week? The reason why women tend to be more drawn to Christianity is because it is based on forgiveness. No other religion really can make that claim. Like if you're absolved of your sins, it's like you just say one prayer and repeat this mantra long enough, and then you don't have to worry about your past anymore. Fuck yeah. I mean, that's how awesome is that? You don't have to do any works. You don't have to atone for anything. You're completely sinless for it anyways. Of course, is it any wonder why women are drawn to traditional conservative Christianity or whatever it passes for it these days?
Same thing Martin Luther exposes.
Yeah.
Paying for your sins to get out.
Exactly. And again, like if you look at Islam, hell, you look at Judaism, you look at certain branches of Hinduism, Sikhism. Like there's got to be some sort of atonement, right? Instead of just like this blanket forgiveness. And I'm not saying that there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but I do understand that that's the appeal. So yeah, Jesus paid the price. Okay, I 100% agree. And I also understand how convenient that is when you're someone like Nala Fit, or Eva Lovia, or I don't know, Riley Reid, or whatever that, or Mia Khalifa, although I think she pretends to be a Muslim these days. Yeah, so there you go. It's easy to convert to Christianity because Christianity is unassailable. And what do I mean by that is you, and I ran into this when I was hypercritical of Cake Tits, which was Isabella DeLuca or Isabella Moody? I can't remember which one. One of these chicks had just basically shown her tits, puts a crucifix necklace on, and now suddenly she's wholesome. Now suddenly everybody goes, well, you know what? Maybe we should give her a pass. She does have big boobs, and they're probably fake, but that's okay. We'll make an exception for her because she seems to be on our ideological team. No, she's tricking you. Same thing with Nala Fit. She's tricking you. In some cases, literally tricking you. And so the problem that runs what this is it's what I call the prodigal son narrative, and it could be the prodigal daughter, right? Obviously. So what is that? That is the prodigal. So what is the prodigal son? Okay, it's the story from the Bible, the parable, right? Which is the prodigal son gets his inheritance and he goes off. He says, Dad, give me my inheritance. I got to go off and seek fortune and fame. And what does he do? He goes out and he spends it all on hookers and blow. Okay. And so he has a really tough time trying to turn his inheritance into something else, and he blows it all, and he's like basically alcoholic sleeping in a ditch somewhere, right? And says, okay, well, it's better to go back home and be a slave or be a pig swine feeder or stall mucker or whatever it was at the time, right, than it is to be out here. So he comes back into the fold, and of course what happens? Dad throws a party for him. And it's slay the fatted calf, and it's, my son hath returneth, yada, yada, yada. And we're pretty much familiar with the prodigal son. Well, the thing is like from a sociological and a sort of a human perspective, I know we're not supposed to say that about Bible stories, right? But from a human perspective, you can't assail that narrative, because if you do, you attack the religion. But look, how does this motherfucker get his inheritance, and you're going to go and slay the fatted calf? Dad, what the hell? At least make him work for it. At least make him muck the stalls a little bit more. At least, make it hard for him. No. It's all good. Come back into the fold, because the prodigal son narrative is not about the prodigal son. It is about the true believers. It's about the people who go, see, we told you. We told you. If you take your inheritance and you go and spend it on hookers and blow, this is what happens to you. Good. Well, here's a prime example of a guy coming back to the fold after he said that he renounced Christianity, and then he came back to Christianity again. Yay! Let all the trumpets sing and the angels sing and the trumpets blow, right? And that's really, every time you see this kind of, and I'm not just limiting it to Nala Fit, right? There's lots of guys who've done exactly the same fucking thing. Okay. I can think of Julian Blanc, for example. I can think of, Tucker Max, all these guys who were these incorrigible bad boys. And then suddenly they knock up some girl and they marry that girl. And now we got to live the right life. Well, what brought on this such a radical change in you, Tucker? That kid right there. That's basically what it was, right? Because remember, people don't change unless there is a barrel of a gun to their heads. For the most part, in 98.9% of cases, people don't initialize, particularly personality changing, changes in their paradigm shifts in their life, unless they have to, unless they are zeroed out, unless they bottom out, unless they hit quote unquote rock bottom, right? Unless they are forced to do so, they will not initiate any kind of change in their lives. And rare is the person who does it and initiates the change on themselves. And usually it's because there is a perceived threat to their way of life and they needed to preempt that. So when we're looking at, say, the prodigal son narrative, it's about the people who are the true believers, because it reinforces that true belief. So as a result of that, if I'm critical of Nala Fit, or if I'm critical of Tucker Max, right, whatever, it doesn't make any difference. If I'm critical of the prodigal son, I'm not critical of the prodigal son. I'm critical of the true believers. Because the reason why sort of quote unquote trad femme women fight so hard for like Nala Fit is because if they don't, it says that their religion is false. If they don't fight, if you question it and they don't defend it, then the religion is false. If they have any doubts that she's a grifter, and I mean like a high functioning God tier grifter, which she has admitted to on several occasions after her quote unquote conversion to Christianity, now we're going to have to are you above reproach? And that's the whole thing I want to point out when it comes to sort of judging women or holding women accountable. You will never hold women accountable because there is an infrastructure that's already in place that's going to make you look like a piece of shit for even opening your mouth, for even questioning that change. And as I said in that one that I was mentioning in that one video, when it comes to forgiveness, it's a get out of jail, it's a get out of hell free card. It's usually at the time, and if you look at where do we go here? If you look at the timeline here that I have in my book, Preventative Medicine, it's my second book, available on Amazon. Please go buy it. But if you look at the epiphany phase and the transition phase that happens right around 27 through 30, that's when you're seeing women having an epiphany about changing their lives. How old was Nala Fit when she decided that she wanted to convert to Christianity? 27? 28? How old was Tommy Lahren when she had her fucking meltdown in 2020 and started talking shit? Oh, she's still talking shit about guys, but when we had that famous Grand Mall meltdown from Tommy Lahren in August of 2020, I remember because I went and did the response video, and Dr. Phil wanted to put me on with her, but they didn't pay for shit. They didn't even want to pay for like airfare because this was during the middle of COVID. So, but how old was she? I can tell you exactly how old she was because I went and looked it up at the time. She was 28 years old, and that was like literally like 6 months to a year before she married baseball dude. I don't know his name. He's now coaching. He's not a player anymore. Wow, surprise, right? And so now she's still bitching and complaining about. Now she's just bitching and complaining as a married woman instead of a single woman. What do you got to complain about? You know, people give me shit all the time. They're like, well, Rolo, why do you complain about complain? I'm not complaining. I'm just like just mouthing off my observations, right? But how come you complain about marriage all the time? Like, I don't complain about marriage. In fact, I've said marriage is the cornerstone of Western society. I don't know how many different ways I have to say that. I said that marriage, the way we do it today, I have a big problem with. Marriage in the sense of it being an institution, I don't have a problem with that. But that's from an idealized state. Now, that said, how come nobody's giving shit to Tomi Lahren? She's married. Why does she have anything to complain about? Why is she talking shit about men? You're already married. Get the fuck out of here. You have nothing to say because they tell me the same thing. They tell me exactly the same thing. Rolo's married. He can't be red pill. Rolo's red pill. He can't be married, right? The old joke. Sure. Why can't I? If Tomi Lahren can, we're going to take her dead ass seriously to the point where she can go on Laura Ingraham and then talk with Megyn Kelly and all these other. How come I can't say the same thing? Because I'm a dude, and any observation that comes out of a dude's mouth is automatically complaining because men have all the power, right? So if you're observing something that is in any way unflattering to female nature, you're complaining. No, I'm just pointing out a fact. And I'm sick and goddamn tired of having to fucking defend that all the time. And you'll understand why I'm saying that later on today's show. But it's a constant etching. It's like this fucking 30 grit sandpaper that's on the back of my fucking back and putting fire ants on it. No, it is a constant droning. Oh, the red pill is just like feminism for men. No, conservatism is just like feminism for men. It is exactly the opposite, and I'll explain to you why here in a little bit today.